right there, fam. I got hot. Man said, I beat your girl, but remember my man still.
Yeah.
He did say that, and I said, no, I'm going to have to bore you, fam.
You're going to fight the man, but you get me before you show the respect.
Oh. Yeah, he said, remember, don't come at me because I'm still a man.
Don't come at me because I'm still a man.
I'll tuck you in.
Yeah, that's mad.
Still.
Yeah, but you don't know more type. What? Ready?
Yeah.
Come on, you don't know what I am. We're there up on the raggy roof.
Obviously, them man there's in the building. #DMDpodcast, myself, Smoke.
Come on, Big Rome, you can't even clone the Don.
Big Wes, one of the best. Said it with chest.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that the intro, man?
No. Wait.
No, why
is that the intro? Man's been waiting to get off his chest.
Yeah.
No, that was alright. That's alright.
We're rolling like 2 months. Yeah, fam.
No, because I thought you was
fam, it was much longer than that.
Yeah,
I was like, no, I'm not rapping because
but
I'm sitting next to an artist and he's going to be like, fam, stop.
I thought it was a bit more, you get me.
No, you man, fam, it was. The youth man said to me, one line, fam.
Yeah, no.
Do you remember?
You
had to start again, fam.
No, that's a decent line still.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think it's with confidence though. Like,
He needed to say that with chest.
Yeah. He didn't say it with chest still.
Alright, next week.
But obviously, we've got a special guest in the building with us today, Bells.
Said it with breast.
What's going on? Cool, bro. Why you not busting up like that, though?
You missed it.
He missed the joke. I said he didn't say it with chest, he said it with breast. Like. Go on.
No, you're bad, man. You know. Don't listen to him. Anyway, we've got Bells in the building today. So, what you saying, my G?
Nah, I'm cool, man.
Obviously, been reached out to. Like, I started looking at obviously some of what you was doing. Obviously through mutuals, we connected. Obviously, just let the people know a little bit about what you do, your background.
So I grew up in Tottenham, and then last year December, Christmas Eve, I did a ride out.
What?
What?
No. Ride out. So basically, no, hold on.
Man, come here in black and say, yo, did a ride out.
So basically, with C86erz, which is what my brand is, there's loads of us that ride bikes. So we call them ride out. So when you go out and you hit like trails or something, you basically call that a ride out.
Still not sounding
Still
good.
sounds wrong.
But a good ride out, not
basically. So basically, like we'll ride from, I don't know, go Wells Bike Park and go for a ride out. It's like an outing basically.
Okay,
bikes.
But
ride out.
Did you use the name from?
No, it's a term that we use.
Yeah, but I know it's a term that we use it. But
I know the term you lot think of, but it ain't that.
But did you think of it from that term to putting it in a good way?
Was it something you always use?
In a sense, yeah, because it's still a collective of man them that go out and...
So still the man them, I get it.
Yeah.
So it's got,
What is it? Pedal bike or motorbike?
Yeah, pedal bike.
Okay, yeah.
So, but these bikes are like free.
That is. One of just motorbike up the road, fam. That's light.
Yeah, no, I get what he's saying is, why would man go on the trail on the motorbikes?
Oh, yeah. I didn't hear the trail. I didn't hear that bit still.
But these bikes are like, the bikes we've got, even though the pedal bikes are like free bags.
Proper bikes, it's not easy.
E-bikes and stuff. So last Christmas Eve, had about 40 of us turn up in Tottenham on Phillip Lane. And we literally, we had some cargo bikes. You know what cargo bikes are?
No.
So it's like them half bike and it's got like a big trailer in the front of it. It's like a massive box.
Oh, in the front?
Yeah.
So we had 3 of them.
Yeah.
And we filled them up with food and stuff, and we did like a ride out feeding homeless people throughout the 32 boroughs of London.
Wicked.
Cold.
But then obviously on that night, I met one woman in Westminster under the bridge. She was in a tent, didn't know she was there. Obviously I've approached the tent and I've gone, is anyone in there? Would you like some food? She zipped up the tent and popped her head out. And obviously I'm like startled because it's the first woman I've come across that evening. And then I went and got some food, gave her the food. But as she took the bag from me, it's like she was trembling because she was cold. She was sitting by the water. And I gave her some gloves. She started crying for the gloves. I was like, this ain't normal.
It's just,
So for me, it was like, that was almost like a door opener to having it going back to where my empathy was. Because you kind of get lost with that whole feeling of self as you grow older. It's all about materialistic things and what you can bring home and stuff. So obviously, through riding home with my set, it was like, we were looking around and it's like tunnel vision. All I could see was poverty. Even though we're in London, all I could see was poverty because I'm now in tune with it. I've been riding from like 7 o'clock to like 3 o'clock in the morning, Christmas morning. And that's all I can see on the road. So since then, when I got home, obviously Christmas and whatnot, Caribbean household, food's running,
Nothing.
and you're saying to
Food and
yourself,
drink.
fuck, like, look at all this food here,
Yeah.
and these ain't got nothing on the road. So obviously, like, Christmas, I was eating but not eating, and then come January, Boris started with his shit with the lockdown again, and I was like, his statement triggered me. It was like, you know, stay home, stay safe. I'm like, bruh, where are they staying?
If you ain't
They're
got
still
a
on the
home,
road.
yeah.
You know, he's like, contactless payments. They can't make contactless payments. Toilets were shut. They couldn't use no public toilets. And it's like, even if a man gave a homeless person in lockdown £20 to go and buy a pair of socks or something,
From where?
they can't from where? Everything's shut.
Everything's online.
So for me, it was like, I didn't know what I was doing. And obviously, January, I started ranting on Facebook about, you know, we're basically leaving homeless people behind in a sense. Government don't care. And that video, I think in the first 24, 48 hours hit like 6K views. And then literally it was like, everyone was messaging me like, telling me locations of where they see homeless people. And it just sparked from there. So since then, I've put like tabs in shops where I put like $2.50 behind the counter. And then basically people who use food banks or people who are homeless will get a voucher from your token. And they go into that shop and get food for free.
Okay.
Because obviously someone who uses a food bank, you have to eat the same proceeds all the time. It's beans, egg, milk, bread. It's the same crap all the time. Plus you've got to cook it. So that becomes a bit monotonous in terms of having to cook the same thing all the time. But it's been a journey, man. Like this full year. BBC came, I think, 2 weeks ago. ITV come next week, Wednesday. And literally it's just having that voice for them, putting them back on the map because they are forgotten about.
Yeah.
And they've actually got their community more together than we have. We don't think we've got a community, but it's not as strong as theirs. They look out for each other differently.
But they understand.
We kind of got back to it when it was lockdown, where everyone was kind of like, like looking after each other, and you know, you start talking to your neighbour you haven't spoken to for time.
Yeah.
But them lot have got it on lock. Like they
That's all
understand
they
what
got.
community is. Yeah. That's the snippet. of what I'm doing.
The shops that you got it in at the moment, is it just a particular area or?
So Hackney, Newham, and Haringey so far.
Okay, so them 3 boroughs at the moment.
Yeah.
So is this you lot? Is it yourself and your team funding it, or is there
Nah,
any
so-
government help? Is there?
No government help. Government are long. So
Well, I just have to ask.
Yeah,
we know they're long anyway.
So to start with, it started off with just me doing it out of my own pocket, and then it turned into, you know, someone wanted to help out when I went for the ride out that I did earlier on in the
the
last
good
year.
ride out, by the way, people.
And then it, you know, Just Giving page on that same Christmas Eve hit 1,600 in less than a day, and then it went to 4.5 grand in a couple months, and then I started getting a following from people who are in like vulnerable situations. Like I remember one story, for instance, had a mum. Remember we Tottenham had the floods.
Yeah.
So imagine she had 3 kids. She has 3 kids. The son passed away. He had disability, bless him. And then she went into hospital, and basically she came out. Her son didn't make it because they had pneumonia because of the rain and stuff.
Yeah.
And she came out, went to go and pick up her other 2 kids and go home because the mum's elderly. She wasn't able to check on the house to see what happened with the floods and whatnot. She knew the area what had happened.
Yeah.
And picked up her 2 kids, went home, opened the door, and then basically just water everywhere, flooded out. And because it had been like that for about a week, the water then turned to termites and stuff within the household. Black fog,
Black mark,
not
yeah.
black mark, like that
Mold.
mold stuff.
And
And then literally, she phoned the council and was like, I need help, I need to be moved and whatnot. But because she was being reassessed, because obviously her son's not here now, she now has to be reassessed because she's not his carer no more. So that's 12 weeks with no peas. So literally, they moved her, but because her house was across the road where she was going to be moving to, they decided that they're not going to help her move any like cookers and stuff because it's too near. They're not going to call out someone to change it over.
yeah.
So I phoned one of my boys in Gillingham, and he brought down a cooker, and a microwave, and I paid to get them fitted in and stuff. But like, once you kind of get to that base level of open yourself to helping people, you start to see a lot of shit. And there's a lot of people that are hidden behind doors that need help but will never say nothing. Because it's like a mental block to say to your brethren, you know what, I'm having a difficult time.
They feel like they're going to be judged.
100.
Yeah.
Especially in our culture.
Yeah.
That's not
100%.
something that we even talk about.
Yeah. It's true.
You get me? And the thing is like, I had someone on a podcast actually, and he was talking badly about people on benefits and whatnot. And I started laughing. He's like, why are you laughing? I said, all right, cool, boom. Imagine all 5 of us are brethren. All 5 of us are brethren. And then you're off on one saying, do you know what? People on benefits are this and people on benefits are that. And I don't believe in people who ask for money and whatnot. You basically blacklisted all your friends that you're supposed to care about just because of the way you're talking.
Yeah.
So that means even if out of our whole set, even if you're the one that was peed up, your brethren that you've been rolling with from baby will never come to you because of the way you spoke.
Yeah.
So it's like we have to be wary of how we kind of carry ourselves and deal with individuals on a daily basis, man. It's mad.
So with your mission, what's like the end goal for it? Because there's a lot of homeless people on the roads, fam.
Yeah,
Do
trust.
you know what I mean?
think, do you know what it is? I think end goal wise, it's just to make enough noise for them to actually be heard. Because do you know what? It's mad because out of all of us here now, let's say for instance one of us were from flipping Palestine or something. That last protest, all of us would have been there protesting because it's now part of our set. Like our set's got a problem, their family's bun, so you feel like you're gonna go down there and protest on behalf of it because you're now aware of it. Because homelessness and poverty is not something spoken about in a set as your social group, it's never a problem.
Yeah.
So it needs to have someone to make it
Known.
as a known topic that needs to be dealt with. We deal with everything else, but we don't deal with homelessness.
No, it's true.
We don't even have protests for homelessness.
Wallah. It's true,
We
you
have
know.
protests.
To be fair, and a lot of people that are homeless, a lot of them are smart or they've come from a certain
Yeah, of
background.
course.
They're not like everyone just thinks of people as like, sorry to say, but bums. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're not that. There's bare
Yeah.
educated people on the road that just made a wrong move or whatever, and
100.
then ended up that way. Do you get what I'm saying?
But even in that, it's like with anything that the few tarnish everyone else. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like someone might come across some black boys and they were on fuckery. Now every time they see a bunch of, they're like, oh, they're gonna no.
100.
So it's the same like because I've had situations that see like me for example, I got a problem with Red Bull. Like, but Tesco's do a meal deal. £3, you get a £2 Red Bull, a £2 sandwich, and a £1. I'm tight in it, so I'm gonna buy that. What I'm not even hungry, you get what I'm saying? But I go outside.
I'm trying to see where this is coming from.
Yeah, so what I'm saying,
need
I
to
go
see the
outside
line
and then I
still.
see someone there like, oh, have you got any change? No, I'll give you the
But I've got
sandwich.
this,
You know what I'm saying? Have the chocolate, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to eat anyway when they're hungry. But there's people that will come, get the change, later don't get the food. Pretend and come back and ask for more change. And you're like,
Yeah, because one time,
you see?
He's ready.
Right,
you
you
know,
see?
he's
You
ready.
see?
You know?
yeah, you know me.
You see?
Man, I was going to the gym, me and the missus now. And man, you probably seen him, some regular guy, fam, and he gives that quick speech before he asks for the fee. He says, I don't take drugs. I'm not going to use the money for rare, but I need rare. So he's like, I need some food in it. So I said, all right, I got a £5. You get me? Gave him a £5. And he looked at the P and said, that's not going to be enough.
What?
Look. Brother, what? This brother.
I said what?
Brother.
I got a clean, got a nugget meal, you know,
a whole
from McDonald's.
fiver,
You
a
know.
He
whole
told man the
fiver.
meal was going to cost £9, innit? You know, look at
No, what was he
Right,
getting?
yeah, Nando's. Oh,
I
Eagles.
said Brown Eagle, fam.
Who's getting large?
Man's
Nah,
getting
man's
large,
chest,
you know.
man's chest can't be that high, fam.
Nah, do you know what?
Why not?
You know what? Trust
No,
me.
but if I've got listen.
No, you must have some stories.
Yeah,
You must have some
but
stories.
yeah,
But listen, but I'm saying before
Because how you're talking,
No, before you tell your story though, I'm saying if man is broke, fam, I got
Brother.
no peas and I'm hungry. You can't turn down a £5, fam. You can't, bro.
Do you know what? I've never had.
He didn't turn it down, he took it, but he just said it's not enough.
He's top up. He's looking top up.
He didn't-
Okay,
yeah.
this is
Alright,
gonna get a bit more.
so this sounds mad, yeah. So I don't. I used to bring food for them, yeah, but I don't feed them. I only feed them on the spot now. So boom, if I come across someone who's outside the shop or whatever and they're hungry, I will take them in the shop. They can pick anything they want on that high road. I'll give it to them. Kebab, pizza, whatever. But I hear the instance you're coming from. So imagine I've gone to...
This is what I'm saying.
And this is a man
They're
that's giving
getting bright now. They're getting bright
yeah,
now.
yeah.
You get put money up.
This was lockdown, yeah?
Yeah.
I got a phone call to tell me that there's an old man in Krispy Kreme's Enfield, yeah? So boom, jumped in my car,
Luxury,
drove down
yeah.
there and whatnot. So he's standing in the queue. So he's at the queue and everyone who drives in the drive-thru is asking for a change and whatnot. So I've gone to the drive-thru now and I've called him. I'm speaking to him, but you know when you're outside so long that your clothes are dirty, but they're shiny at the same time now because you've been outside for so long.
You gone so dirty, you clean.
Fuck's sake. I can't deal with him, you know. He's funny, you know that.
So you're so dirty, you're clean.
So he's obviously he's like proper.
Yeah,
you can see that he needs help. But this guy's like 75 years old. Yeah. So I'm talking to him, and he's like, he mentioned he's got a girlfriend, and they stay in a garage not too far from Enfield. So I'm like, rah. Because obviously I was new to
Enough of them got gal in
helping
it.
them.
What the man are living, bro?
Community, the community is strong. He's telling you,
Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me.
That's funny. So I've taken him into Sainsbury's, and obviously because of lockdown, you can't buy certain things, so everywhere's shut.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, there's no way in hell I can leave him in these clothes because he's gonna make himself sick.
Yeah.
He's an older man as well. So I bought him a new jacket, some combat trousers, some Sainsbury's crepe and whatnot. When I got to the till, it's like £65.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't tell him to put them back. I was like,
He's keeping it real, though. He's keeping it real.
I was like, you know what?
I say, you want the slippers?
Like little flip flops.
So do you know what? I paid for it, yeah.
Yeah.
And when I jumped into my car, I was thinking to myself, rah.
£65, damn.
I phoned the missus. I said, listen, I just did a peak thing, you know, because obviously she's new to it with me. Cause
Yeah.
she's in it now. She's starting to see them different. Like she'll call me and say to me, this what happened today, blah, blah, blah. So I'm driving home and it dawned on me, it's like, we're quite frivolous with money as human beings, yes? We buy stuff we don't need. We run after the latest iPhone and whatnot. But when it comes to helping someone else with our P's, we're stingy. It could be your brethren that you roll with 24/7s and they turn around and ask you for a tenner, or they ask you to give them a change while you're in brand new because you ain't got the full P. And you kind of like, bro, where's my £3? You get me? Just tight with it. Yeah. But when it's for self, we just spend P's crazy. And obviously since then, it's one of them things where I don't even care no more. Like, I'll just buy what they need. Because I think the thing is, it's more lead by example. And what I keep saying to man them as well is like, this postcode thing is dead if your ends is hungry. It don't make no sense. You know? You can't be saying you're trapping and doing what you're doing, and on your block is a food bank with long queues. That don't make no sense. You know, so for me, it's like, if you got a food bank near your ends, or you're even in your ends, your ends is in poverty, it just don't make no sense. Nine's a prime example. Yeah, them man, they put their whole block on, and did for their block. You know, poverty he's trying to tone down in his area, but it's almost like you have to lead by example. It's that simple.
Yeah. I got one brethren, yeah. I don't know better up his name. But he will go, I call him the Louis Vuitton Don for real, fam. He's in Louis every week. But when it comes to someone, there was I think was it Palestine or somewhere, Yemen. There was not, fam, you get them $5 back. And I said to him, right, he goes, but I would have spent that in Louis.
Exactly.
On a different colour top that I already got already. He knows who he is, you know what I'm saying? And I rate that. Because he took a year. There's enough man that be like, why am I doing that? But they'll go and spend that to go sheesh and buy a kebab. You get what I'm saying? Just to take the pictures.
Well, you have them people, yeah? But also you might have people that...
Yeah, no, I know where you're going. Go on, say it.
Go. You might have, like, you get what I'm saying? You might have someone that they might only have a little change, even though they might have a job or whatever, but that week there or that moment there, like, let's say a brethren artses and he's artsing, man, for £10. Yeah, come on. This is what I'm saying. You lot do what the gal them do to try and jump.
Wow. The gal them. All right, no problem.
1-0. Leave him.
Top bids.
So what I'm saying is, certain time man can be broke, innit? So man could be thinking to themselves like, right, if I give over this, he don't even understand that this is my last tenner as well. Do you get what I'm saying?
But I feel
at that moment.
But I feel like a baseline that any social group and any brethren you've got, they never really know your financial side.
Exactly.
And that's something you hide constantly. Because it's almost your insecurity.
But ain't that something we've been taught and learned? You don't really chat about your money. Like, you don't...
Nah, but do you know what? I think that brings up too many problems. Because if you don't talk about finances and whatnot, and you only... I mean, we subconsciously do it anyway. We'll go and buy a pair of Jordans because it looks like you got money. So you're subconsciously doing it, but sometimes it's almost like a block, like a mirror. You know, someone sees you in fresh crepe or a fresh Louis tracksuit or something. Yeah, you can afford it or you done your deets to get it, but is that really what you are at home? You know, is that what your financial thing is?
But they might not even be able to afford it. That's what I'm saying. They might have spent all that money
you know
and then the rest of the week they can't
But you know
eat,
what? Uni's a prime example. Remember people used to take their student loans and buy Gucci belts?
I don't know. I didn't go to uni.
It's a facade.
Yeah.
I didn't go to uni.
Eating beans and stealing books. Eating beans and stealing books.
But looking fresh.
No, you missed it. They gave you the money to buy the books.
Buy the books, yeah.
But you went and blew it all in Harrods.
Wait, so...
You know how much man went Harrods in January?
Trust me,
With the student, you got that, it dropped in that Harrods.
But I remember
but how
when I
much
was at uni,
how much
I
do the
remember.
books cost, though?
No, a couple £100, fam.
But they don't cost 3 bags, though.
No, but that's
Yeah,
not
but
to
that's the
survive you for the
accommodation,
year.
Somebody can dish out like somebody
Buy
can
one
dish
little
out.
Louis
See, that's what I'm
over
saying.
here.
Smokes would have been like, yo, can I find the internet? They need second editions of this book. Someone wants to double the book
No, I
last
would have bought
year.
all my books and bags and everything. It would have been good. You get me? I would have went through there proper. I would have took uni serious.
Yeah, it's easy
man,
to
no-
say that now.
No.
It's easy to say, yeah.
No, but I didn't go to uni for the reasons about debt, fam. I knew that everyone was getting in debt, so why was I going there to get in debt, fam? Didn't make sense. I didn't feel like I was that smart, man.
This guy's dumb.
No, at least it's honest. I don't feel smart enough to come out that debt, but
But I lied.
leave that alone.
Be in debt for no reason.
So why do you think that is? So, for example, yeah, another thing, talking about fronting, I know a bare man that will have on like 7-8 grand worth of clothes, go to a dance and won't give the promoter £10 to get in.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's mad.
But some of them really
mad.
ain't got the £10 to give you.
That's what I'm trying to say, though. They
That's
really ain't
real
got the
talk.
£10,
Come to the gym. Shout out to my gym. He knows, fam. The man that come in a brand new Merc, they always do the same thing. Come in, yo, let me get a pre-workout till tomorrow. It's mad.
Mad.
It's mad.
Yeah, man, they don't see you in the shit.
Yeah. No, because they know, fam. You're coming in big range.
But I feel like
me get water.
people are more intact with image than they are with interaction in terms of finance. Do you get what I mean? It's like you will run out and get something on finance, just like, for instance, a TV or something. Yeah. Here's an example about finance, yeah? And this is why I don't understand people who won't help people who are vulnerable or people who don't have peace. So, is it Argos's problem for you? So you go into Argos, you get a brand new TV, yeah, like the World Cups come, whatever. Boom, you're going to get a brand new 65-inch TV or something. It's just sitting behind the counter and people, the person cashier is typing in your details, you know, how old you are, how long you lived in your house and whatnot.
Yeah.
If that doesn't pass, you are not going home with a TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in a sense, that is your handout. The 0% interest on the TV or finance, 18 months or whatever, 0% interest.
Yeah.
That's basically Argos saying, right, do you know what? You don't have the money now.
But they
Same
pay
as a
back
homeless
slowly.
person who
Yeah.
can't have food right now. But here's your handout. You walk home with the TV, you sit down with it. 18 months stress-free, small payments of like 1,400, £79 a month. And then boom, you're at home with your handout, and everyone's got a handout, whether it's a mortgage, a car. Imagine rocking up to flipping Carcraft and trying to get a little Corsa. They say, no, you're catching a bus.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
It's back still.
No,
So-
it's important.
So in hindsight, all these finances and stuff that people are running up and all this debt and whatever, if it wasn't there, if that handout wasn't there from these big corporates, you would be in the same position.
All right, but then you could say on the other hand, because them say that same debt that we fall into by getting into problems is the same debt that the rich people use with the same handouts. But if you're talking on credit, they're using their same thing because they're not going to pay. They would do exactly the same thing. The only difference is they maintain their payments and they continue.
could,
whereas
though,
we
but-
have a bad
but when
mentality
you-
of not maintaining.
But
payments.
when you look at lower class, middle class, higher class, there's not much difference between
how we
it's
get
your
things.
bracket of what
Yeah.
you can get finance for.
Yeah.
So someone like 50 Cent or Akon or whatever can get finance for like 30, 40 million pound yacht or something.
Yeah, easily.
Middle class, it's not happening. Lower class, not happening. Poverty line, it's not happening. So your gauge is all the same. It goes from a Vauxhall Corsa, lower class, middle class, a higher end car, and then a Lamborghini Gallardo. It's the same shit all the time.
But that's what I'm saying. So whatever bracket you're in, technically the same kind of money you're going to be paying,
100.
whatever percentage.
Yeah, 100.
So then doesn't that just mean that we're more bad with money, and doesn't this just come into now us learning our education side of it, of learning about credit, learning about taxes, learning about all of these things? Because within poverty, we can flip our credit and do better with the credit, or we could even flip the debt that we're getting or whatever if we borrow money from the bank. Because even if you ain't got that much credit, the bank will still give you money, or certain things will still give you money. We just have to pay higher interest. You get what I'm saying? So if they do get that money, and let's say they go into investment and they flip it, the problem that we do is we get the credit. I mean, we get the debt and we just spend it on bullshit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
I think that's a cultural thing, though.
It's a cultural thing.
That's a cultural thing.
That's what I'm saying about education. So now we need to, our culture or where we grew up needs to be educated better. Or we need to be teaching each other. Even if there's certain people, elders, our elders should be telling us, yo, boom, 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 like, this is what you lot need to do. They don't. This is where it comes into back in the day, people saying about our elders should just give out handouts or like give them P's and do something. You don't have to give them P's. You just need to give them knowledge. Like let them know what they need to do and where they should invest their own money and stuff like that. Do you get what I'm saying? But obviously, it's easier said than done.
But I feel like, do you know what? I feel like our culture, especially, I feel like we had it because back in the day, you know, they were pioneers of having partner and whatnot, where you'd have a lump sum of money collected.
Yeah.
So they were on it or on something.
Yeah.
But I don't know what happened for it to turn into what it is now.
The partner was too hand to hand and
I tell you what happened. Someone got the draw early. And
Yeah, that's what it is. When you get it early, it's like,
why am I paying £50 a month? It's all 6 months later and I'm still paying out. It don't make no sense. But that's the problem with especially people when they're borrowed.
late. I get my last draw.
Have you seen the memes where someone's like, yeah, when you pay people you owe money on payday, and someone's walking around dashing money in people's face. But I'm gonna slap you, you know. I done you a favour, then you don't show off for me. Here's what I owe you. Yeah, there's no extra in there, so you best take that back and apologise. You know what I'm saying? But like you're saying, but in terms of the homelessness, yeah, it's like to me, I think it's mad because, especially that if you come from ends and that, like it is really hard because sometimes I've thought about it when I'm out and I'm like, certain people when they sit in certain places, they're getting P. They're getting more P than I've got from going to the job, getting pissed off with the people at work and having to be there all day. He's got more P. But I couldn't do that. I couldn't sit there and say, you understand what I'm saying? Now, I've got kids. I will sweep any floor, I'll clean any toilet. I would, if I had to sit somewhere, people call me any name, I'll ask for the money. If it's for my kids.
100.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So
100.
it does take, but what my point being is that I still think where people haven't got a lot, especially in the city, it's kind of hard. Like, boy, that I think the guy made a joke about in house party. He goes, spare change. He goes, what the hell's spare change? I come out of my house this morning with spare change. Spent a £5, got the change. That's my change for my £5. He ain't spare. No, do you understand what I'm saying? If I got a £5,
it's real.
I got £2. I come out, you got to spend that. Nothing, I need that £2. And I think that's what's peak as well. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think
Is
is this bad to say? Like,
No, say he's speaking man. We don't know
Brother,
yet.
take time, blood.
No, you can't. Go on.
take time.
Because I don't know.
The look in his eye.
Yeah, I can saw the look in his eye, blood.
Is this fuckery?
But he's learning because
Yeah,
he
but I
asks
need
us,
to
but
know.
normally we
Yeah,
just
yeah,
say.
yeah.
I need
But
to know, innit? Like,
yeah,
'cause
go on.
what I'm saying, I don't want it to sound mad, yeah, but obviously, if you do, like the one, you see them that sit by the cash machine. Do they really expect us to give them notes at the cash? Like,
Yeah,
because,
but it's mad. Yeah, because,
no, I just want to know, like, have you spoken to any of them with like by the cash machine?
Do you know what?
Because
I'll be
No, it's
real
a
with
good-
you,
yeah.
yeah? You see my approach? I've never been asked for money, you know? Until this day, I've never been asked for
Really?
money.
serious.
Think about it. If you go up to someone, you say to them, do you need help? And they look at you, and then you say to them, are you hungry? They say no, they're not hungry. There's no introduction to say, can I have money from you? I've never been asked, ever.
Is that because you approach them, or
I think it's because of the approach.
Yeah, the approach is
You've kind of
Obviously, I'm standing.
directed it already.
I'm standing with them with like a big massive personality and whatnot, and then boom, long jacket, whatever. Late night,
you
Camden,
look like a big ute as well. Yeah,
and obviously, it's not argument.
Frightened to us. That's what it is. We're frightened to us. Or looking up at man. Nah, I'm not even hungry.
Hold on.
To be honest, I'm not even homeless. I'm just sitting down. I'm just resting.
No.
Hey, he's funny.
Wait. Hold on. Hey, Rose. He's like,
Right.
you hungry? No, but are you?
Oh yeah, no.
Trust me.
But I think, the thing is, obviously, I got asked this as well. It's like, how do you determine who actually needs help from who's just out on the roads with like groggy clothes, just getting peas? But the way I see it is, if your brother asks you for £20 or your sister or something, and you send it to her bank, whether she takes that £20 to go and buy a Courvoisier or something on a night out, or she actually use it for gas and electric, it doesn't void your good deed.
See, but okay, I got to cut you there because there's a couple of people that I haven't known because I don't know them, but they've come and they're kind of approach that they seem like alcoholics. Okay, get me a drink. I said, I'll buy you any drink in the shop apart from alcohol. I done it 3 times. They said, no, it's cool. I'm like, that's mad. Your hair, I'll buy you it. I'm not buying you alcohol though. And they're like, cool. And I just think, to me, and
because you don't
forget my good
And
deed.
even the man that asks for precise change, though, I don't trust them, man, Carl. You might try to get
Let's say £1.20.
Yeah, let me get a £9.58. For what? For what, though? So what you want to buy? Drug now? That's what you want to buy? Yeah, don't ask me for precise change, fam.
But obviously, like, we don't want to feed their addiction if you feel like they have an addiction.
Do you understand? Because I could give you the change and not look, and you're like,
I've heard the argument of that's because they're at such a low point.
That's what they got to go to.
That's all they can go to
watch
go
this,
to.
yeah?
That might take their mind away from things.
Watch this. What's the difference from someone being on the street who's basically off their head from, let's say, drugs, to someone who earns a 6-figure salary, owns a penthouse, and snorts crack on Instagram? The only difference is that material possessions that they have between the two of them look completely two different.
No, there's another difference.
Go on.
He's got his crack on tap. He's got the money. He's
But
got a nice house. He's still warm.
No, but the point I'm trying to get to is his image looks okay.
Okay, I know what you're saying.
Where
He's still fucked on the same drugs.
On the
Yeah.
Who doesn't have anything to go with the crack.
He's a crackhead.
He's the crackhead. But there's no difference between the two of them except the image.
I hear what you're saying there. We're both doing the same drugs, but because I'm a rock star or something.
I understand that, but it comes down to funding your habit, though. If you can fund your habit, if he chooses to do that because he's made enough money to fund that habit, if you can't maintain that because now he can get all that healthcare and everything else, whereas in this person here, if I'm feeding that addiction more, you're dying more quicker, innit? Not saying that person not, but they can.
But do you know what?
They're probably the person at the top probably dying quicker because they're probably taking bear drugs.
Yeah, mate.
So you got some people that won't ever help an individual, whether it be drugs or whatever.
Yeah.
I put things in a ladder perspective. So imagine you had a ladder that was gonna get onto the roof of this building. So let's say, for instance, the roof of this building was the pinnacle of where someone like the council's gonna come in and give them a house. If there's 11 steps, let's take it as 11 days. Yeah. So 11 different people buck that individual on the street. If one person walks past him and decides that he's not going to feed him, he's got to survive till tomorrow. If the person does it again, he's survived. He has survived 3 days without food now. If the 4th person comes along and gives him food, remember he's never met the first 3 that came along. The 4th person gives him food. He's now helped him sustain 4 days on the street.
Okay, yeah.
5th day, 6th day, 7th day, 8th day. 9th day, someone's giving him a wool jacket. He survived now 9 days from only 4 or 5 individuals. But obviously, you can't connect the dots because you don't know who's helping him from who's not daily.
Yeah.
Day 12 comes now, and the council have put him in. The council are oblivious to know that he's been on the street for 12 days and been helped by all these 12 different people. But that's why you have to, if you can, put in on your day. Because you never know if he's been helped or not.
All right, let's touch a bit on the government side now, yeah? Because,
bruv.
obviously we know they're bullshit. Because, all right, so they say when it gets mad cold like these times, they try and get them off the road and put them up here. So, Where did they put them? Like, where did they
I
try
know
and
that
get them?
from work.
Oh,
They
you
put
did
them
that
in
from work?
hotels, empty property. So you know, there's housing problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me, there's people on the list. But see, when I give the government this, they gave local boroughs bare dough and said, listen, don't have no one on the street.
But they messed up with that though.
Yeah. This is
Well,
what
why-
I'm
why-
saying.
go-
Now.
go-
This is what
why-
I'm
go on,
saying.
let me see,
Now. This is
'cause
my-
let me see why
They
you
messed
say
up.
it. Go on.
So the council, let's say for instance, the council gave £1 million to each borough to put them in.
Yeah.
What they didn't do is they didn't give guidelines with that £1 million.
Okay.
So imagine there's 4 of us.
Yeah.
That's 4 million. You take a mil, you got a mil, I got a mil, you got a mil. Based on the borough you live, based on the borough you run, you've got to basically put as many homeless people in that hotel as possible.
Like literally.
For a million.
Central London, you cannot put that many homeless people
In
in,
a million,
the
yeah.
Savoy or something.
With $1 million.
Or the W Hotel, it's not going to work.
Mm.
What they should have done was phone up the tax office, find out which hotel chain is going to make the most dough this year based on statistics of what their last tax year was. Give them a tax break, which would be like $1 million. Add that with the $4 million you already got, and then pay them the whole $4 million in their bank, and say to them, boom.
Yeah,
run that.
But you see,
Houses
the
like
chain.
Premier Inn or Travel Lodge.
Yeah.
Every borough's got one. You could have put homeless people in. It was empty. It was COVID. It was lockdown.
But you see what was happening though. But you know, the only thing with that is, there's a lot of people that are genuine that need help. But in my own personal experience, there's a few bad apples. So if you put them all together, it ain't gonna work. Because there's some man that are out on the road because they've been on fuckery, and now they're like, hold on, what? Got a yard? I got peas. They're just doing fuckery, fam. Like, you know what I'm saying? You put them in blocks with normal...
And that's obviously with mental health as well. Like some people
Yeah,
bipolar and they're putting them into hostels when they can't survive on a hostel with other people that are homeless as well.
Yeah.
But in saying that, it's like it's just a weird it's a weird situation where you say to yourself, all right, cool, like you publicly turn around and say that as the government and as local councils we're willing to house people because it's got cold. Like there's not really a season where England doesn't have rain. It always happens. So where you like to pick them up for that feel-good factor, whether it's like Christmas time or whatnot, and then you put them back down again, it just don't make no sense.
Yeah, it don't make no sense.
So then, all right, so then, I'm talking like I'm working for them right now. So where's the P gonna come from then? Because if the government turned around and said, right, every household, you have to hold a deficit now of an extra £100 a month, but to help the homeless problem, I'm guaranteed there's a whole bunch of people that's like, are you mad? I cannot lose that one. But there's gonna be a whole bunch of people that said, oh, that's my part to help.
Of course.
I don't mind doing that. I ain't gonna leave my house. You just take the one up. But I'm not saying, but there's a lot of people. Do you think this that I personally don't think, especially in the lower end community, people can say, "Raw, I can't afford. I want to help homeless people, but why not? I already give the pastor £50 a week. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Do you know what the problem is? I think the problem is that with homelessness as a situation, we all know it's wrong. Yeah,
of course.
And I think in terms of taking money from individual households to deal with it, the money's already there. It doesn't need to be taken from households. Yeah. Right now, we've got councils that are trying to like ask local businesses for £250 to grow trees. Brother, I don't care about trees. You know, you got £250. You're asking each local business. If you were to ask that to help the housing problem or poverty problem within the borough, yeah, that makes sense because we're in that situation. But you can't be on social media as a council and saying, "Boom, we need to buy trees." Trees for what? We ain't even got no space to grow them.
No, we need trees though.
We do need trees, but we also need people to survive on our ends.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? But as an example, do you know what the government just did as an incentive to help homeless people? You would never guess.
Go on.
They just spent 1.7 million on e-cigarettes to give homeless people.
To give them.
When the blitz.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So this is the
No, but
foolishness
my
that they're
point
spending
is,
money
you
on,
know
though.
what? You know why that's fuckery. I went around that way. They're gonna charge it.
But also,
They're violated.
Violated still.
Yeah.
It's a
Or
violation
even when the
still.
liquid runs out, where are they going to do it?
Fam, what are they giving them to mash up their lungs? That's mad. That's mad. That's mad. No. That's actually
Alright,
mad.
so there's a thing called. So watch
E-cigarettes.
this, yeah. Do you know being homeless is illegal? You didn't, did you? You don't know that.
I think
So
I've heard of
there's a
something.
Vagrancy Act here that came out nearly 200 years ago. So basically, how that started was in slavery times. It stopped.
Runaways.
it stopped runaways from ever going on the street and asking for money or asking for anything. So they had to have some form of identification on them or some form of tender. Now, because of that act, in COVID, there was countless times police were arresting homeless people underneath that act. Imagine it's illegal to be homeless, but then you got no house to go to anyway. Don't make no
Because
sense.
the government's got you then,
See?
and then they arrest you.
So tents are illegal on the streets. Yeah, you can't have a tent. So that's why that law got passed. Remember back in the day when you used to come outside the supermarket, you used to have them spikes on the floor. You don't remember
Because
them?
people can't sleep there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I can't remember that still.
No, but
So
that's
they
legal.
have them, and then they have the park benches. They have a pole that goes here in between them.
Okay, yeah.
That's to stop homeless people
Oh
sleeping in the
yeah,
parks and
yeah, I
whatnot.
see that. Yeah.
And there's another one where they got the spikes. I'll show it to you, lot. They got the spikes on the floor so they can't sleep. But that Vagrancy Act basically stopped. It's illegal for them to be on the street.
But you know what's mad? No one don't want to be on the street.
No one don't want to be on the street.
Hey, we doing here? I ain't here by a choice, motherfucker. Like,
I
you think I chose to sleep in the doorway? And then you want to come poke, you don't disturb them, like, you understand it?
Listen,
But
I've been-
maybe some of them do, not in a bad way, yeah. But remember that brother that the Jamaican, do you know the Jamaican guy in Dalston?
It's dreads.
Nah, was he?
That's
He's not a dread.
No.
I know which one you're talking about. You're not him, but he's grey head. But they done a GoFundMe for one girl. Done a GoFundMe.
I'm telling you, that's the same one. That's the same
For
one.
years he's been there, innit? And she done a GoFundMe for him to send him back to Jamaica. She raised like what 20K or something like that, and got him a passport, everything. Like he had a passport already. She was gonna send him back, and then he turned it down. He said he didn't want to go back to Jamaica, like because this is all he knew here, innit? So he wanted to kind of stay on the street and. Obviously, he said his mom, he lived here, his mum passed here, whatever, so he didn't want to go nowhere.
I get that, though. 100.
So some of them are attached to the street at the same time, do you get what I'm saying? Even
Do you
if
know what
try
it's
to-
funny?
That's the same brother I gave the crypt to.
Oh, is it the same one?
Because, yeah, he used to be at the
Okay,
car park.
The car park back the
Yeah,
back of
but the job
I
centre.
know,
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes they
yeah.
had no change. He's like, I got you, man, don't worry. That's what I'm saying. He was
Okay,
safe. That's
yeah,
all I said,
him.
go and get medical food, yeah.
Okay.
I remember meeting this guy in Tottenham Hell. He's coming outside I think Lidl. And I was talking to him. And I was like, do you need help and whatnot? Do you want somewhere to stay for the night because it was cold? And he's like, no, I'm good, man. I was like, you sure? You don't want to go somewhere warm? He's like, no. Because they get so adapted and used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then half the time, sometimes why the crime rate's so high sometimes, they just want somewhere warm to go. And imagine that's your only alternative is to go and do a small petty crime just to get a couple of nights.
To go into the cell.
Listen to this.
I was wondering if they do that, but I would do that.
I used to think that now, if I'm on the street,
Yeah,
I'm just crying, shift me, put me in the cell, then at least it's
man,
warm.
yeah.
But that's ignorant thinking. But I was thinking, no, but it's cold. Lock me up then, all right, yeah.
I think it makes sense, bro.
What do you crime again?
Yeah,
What it mean?
lock me up, yeah, because, well, I'm cold, isn't it?
Yeah,
Big
guaranteed
brother.
3 mils.
You know what happened to me
Two
once?
years.
I was waiting for my brethren. I swear I was near Islington, and I saw I thought they were like bins or that food brings people put like charity boxes, and I see a man he was going in them. It made me feel away to the point where I phoned my mum. I was like, "Mum, should I just go out there and give the man a $5 because he's been hanging inside this bin for ages, making me feel away."
Yeah, I told your mum, fam.
No, because I was like, no, I didn't ask her. I was sitting there, I was like, I was being serious. No, I didn't ask her that. Because I'm feeling some. So I was like, no. So one of my window go, yo. He's like, yeah. I said, come on, yeah, here's the $5. He's like, I want your money. Like, what? He's like being insulted. So I still waiting for my brethren. I see some next people come. But I didn't realise, so people don't want stuff, they come and put it here. And then people just come along and collect it.
Yeah.
So he must have thought, who's this pussy? I'm not a tramp, fam. Don't try to offer me a $5. But I wasn't trying to be insulted, but I didn't realise that all of these things go
Trying
on.
to collect
Like,
clothes and man trying to give
That's
that money. And
that's
that.
the
but people
thing.
go there and people were coming in their vans to get stuff.
Yeah.
People, yeah.
It's mad. I went to
Mad.
I went Green Lanes. I went Green Lanes to go and meet this homeless person, and someone from my Facebook had told another person that they help in Hackney that I was going to be in Green Lanes. So he rid from Hackney to come and meet me in Green Lanes. And imagine the guy I've gone to help, elderly guy, literally got hit by a car in McDonald's car park, Green Lanes. And because obviously he didn't want to go to NHS for whatever reason, I don't know. Literally walking around with like a Zimmer frame, like hopping along basically. And then when you look at his foot swollen, like he's proper sick in it.
Yeah, mashallah. Yeah.
So I don't know what deal he's got with with one of the kebab shops on the road. But when the other guy came down, obviously he realised that the guy from Hackney had ridden down to get food from me. And I remember him saying to me, no, I'll deal with it. And I'm looking at him thinking, how you gonna deal with it? I see my man go across the road with his Zimmer frame, walk into the Turkish shop, get his food, because he must have food like given to him daily, like from a culture perspective, look after each other.
Yeah.
And he's come back and he's handed the guy from Hackney the food. I'm saying to myself, imagine that, yeah? He don't even know if I'm coming to give him food today, and he's giving away his food.
Yeah, that's.
And this is what I'm saying. It's like the way they move towards each other is how our community should be. You know,
They look after each other.
Back in the day when we had Triangle and Chestnut Play Scheme and whatnot, that's when we like even like Haringey in the 90s. That's what community was.
Yeah,
This version of Haringey ain't the same. We're
That's
very much
because-
despondent from each other.
That's because, like, I feel like back in the day, we was more of a community. Like, you see where the government, let's be honest, they put us in certain areas. So you have black people in the Tottenham, Brixton, whatever, Northwest. Then you got, like, the Asian population, Whitechapel. Like, we was all segregated and we all grew up as a community. Now, where we grew up a little bit, everyone's kind of moved out and moved to different areas because everyone's trying to get out. So now that everyone's trying to get out, everyone's kids are in so many different places. So there's no sense of community no more because the new generation of... I feel like England, every 10 years, they just change the set of people that they want to come in the country. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, whether it was the Europeans turn, now they dash away the Europeans. Boom, we're bringing the South Americans because there's bare Brazilians and Latinos about... You get what I'm saying? Then after...
I do hear that though.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
I
We was
hear
there,
that.
Caribbeans were there, the Africans would come through after. Yeah, no, they bring... He's gone, you know. He's gone. He tried to hold
Smokes
it.
is so wrong.
No, but it's
But
facts though.
it's the way I'm picturing it. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like they've got a big crane and everyone
Hey!
and just dash.
But that's how I've
it
been
out.
seeing it though. I've
Hey,
been
coming
noticing.
for us next year.
You get what I'm saying? Like Caribbeans come first, then the Africans come, then it was Europeans.
I hear him though.
Bro, it's been changing, fam. Now they're just changing the cycle. Do you get what I'm saying? But we're all mingling, and when we're all coming in now, they have their sense of community. Do you get what I'm saying? Like the Greeks and the Turks had their community, and now the Brazilians and all of them over in 70s, they got their community. You get what I'm saying?
But you know
But
what's
we
mad?
ain't got that. We lost it.
So you know like Seven Sisters Market, yeah? You don't know Seven Sisters Market?
Yeah.
So imagine,
That used. I swear that used to be.
that used to be ours as
Yeah,
well.
that used to be ours.
Do you know what? It did, you know.
It used to be
It
ours.
did, fam.
Every
You go
shop
in
in there
now,
was
you
going
go
in
in
and stuff.
But
Remember
they
the man with
look
the
at you
new
like,
air
what
hats,
you doing
yeah?
in there? Yeah.
Used to be ours.
One bag of salsa in
You
there.
walk in there, they don't even want you in there. They're looking at you like, what you doing in there?
The thing,
Like, it's mad. You can get food in there. Unless you know
it's
one of
mad.
them. It's mad.
So TFL own that, yeah?
Oh, they own that.
Yeah, so they own that building. So they want to knock it down and build the Seven Sisters station right the way through.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that would make sense. Still.
So they protested against it and stopped them from getting in. Yeah? And they won it. So that building belongs to them now. Imagine
look
this,
at
Shag.
us, man. We
I
just-
watch this.
Yeah, but they make one little, cool, fam.
Yeah,
and everyone
yeah,
from
yeah,
south,
yeah,
east,
yeah.
west are coming,
Yeah,
fam.
yeah. It's unity. It's unity.
But
It's different.
the thing
Or
is
Brazil,
that-
they're coming, flying in.
Do you know what?
Literally.
Depending on who sees this, they're mostly going to try and get me for this, but it's true. I don't even care, bro. So listen,
Okay,
what-
Say it now.
Let's go.
Listen,
But
Silence
now
in the
selling
room.
this Chinese store already.
Silence in the
so
room, go on.
that's my little disclaimer. So listen, West Indian Culture Centre,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
is the only building we have to represent us, yeah?
Mm.
And it is the worst conditioned building, one of the worst conditioned buildings in Harrington.
It's bad
Yeah.
conditions still.
And the thing is that what annoys me with that situation is there's a situation where they're doing a GoFundMe and asking everyone for £1 and whatnot. But it's down to poor management. Yeah, you know, you have parties and then people have their air conditioning leaking into DJ decks and blowing them up in the nonsense. Yeah, or trying to run a situation where you want, you know, to get a lift in there. But they've been trying to get a lift in there from when I was a baby.
Yeah, I can't lie, yeah. It's been years.
Yeah, they don't live in it. One bag
They
of
don't live
stairs.
with one bag of stairs.
See enough granny struggling.
Yo, Enough christenings, you know.
Enough granny struggling
Yo.
to get up and down the stairs, blood. I've seen it still.
So for me,
Enough of them just downstairs.
Yeah, sometimes they're not even raving up there now. Yeah, we can hear the music.
It's cool. I can hear it. Yeah.
When they're raving downstairs.
And there the door, just shivering.
Yeah, for real. No, you're right
so
with
for
that
me,
one.
it's like if that's the only thing that's representing us in our community,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
a
don't-
lot.
poor still.
and this is what I'm saying. It again, you know, there's things that could have been done to prevent that situation, but we always end up waiting till last minute when it's red letter or something to then ask for help.
Yeah, it's
And that's
true.
a prime example. You know, you have a building, the building's to represent a culture, and you wait till last minute until the council want to take it back to now protest to say we need help. You should have told us that 10 years ago. You know, the thing is that culturally we need to start learning how to. I guess it's the insecurity, but be attached to your insecurity to just talk about it.
Yeah, just to be open about it. You get me? Because we're gonna struggle in silence. You get what I'm saying?
Like, I reckon it happens. Like, I reckon this poverty thing is hitting a lot of man on road, and man just are not talking about it.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, the amount of things that you can make you feel secure, like, you know, next giving you £500 on a catalogue, and you're buying a couple of pairs of trousers and a couple of pairs of shirt for your going out, just to make you look afloat. And I
Just
think
to feel a certain
the
way.
gram can literally like make you in a blacklisted world where you just survive from image.
Yeah.
And it's mad. It is actually mad.
I don't know if you could just survive from image no more though with Instagram and all that.
Yeah.
Like, people are getting found out.
You're getting found
You get what I'm
out,
saying?
boy, for real.
So you kind of have to be yourself. Well, you don't have to, obviously you can still portray a certain image, but in order to do that, it's way more expensive than back in the day where you could come out with a one jean suit.
But that's the thing. But then I think pressure wise,
Jeans.
if you go and get yourself
Sasha Yardi,
Yeah,
white
but I
one,
don't
yeah.
know. Who was that
A white
jeans
one,
suit?
yeah.
Back in the
And a
day,
string
the V
vest.
suit.
The string vest.
When the V suit back in the day, like people get
Yeah.
Yeah.
about £500. Like back in the day,
Machino, look
you
at-
get what I'm saying? Now,
But then I think
You can't
sometimes,
do
I
that.
think image wise, especially again in culture, if you go and get yourself a 20 plate Benz or something, you can't go and buy a flipping Ford Focus after, can you? You got to keep
Almost
going
like
up.
you fell off.
So, yeah, that's
See what I
yeah.
mean? So that pressure,
Yeah,
even from your
pressure.
circle, be like, "Oh, my man fell off," you know.
It's true,
So
you
it's like
know.
as soon as you,
my man them could have got away with it recent with the ULZ. They just get rid of it quickly. Say, listen, I'm just get a smart car.
Nah, but why do you have to
Ends
just
and-
explain and justify
Yeah,
it?
they don't,
to
but I'm saying they
anybody?
can't
People
want
start doing- yeah.
Bro, like,
That's what happens.
Bro, I can't maintain
And
this.
you
I'm
know
going
what?
down. Like, just keep it
that
real with
statement you
yourself,
just
innit?
made is so real on so many levels, because just by someone telling you that you fell off, or walking around telling people that, "Rah, see my man, he's fell off," you know, that could be from a drug addiction, that could be from he's from the way he dresses, and as soon as you got that plaque on you, you can't get off.
But let me tell you the funniest thing is there will be a mad man with bare P that will downgrade to a smart car. Everyone will be talking about him when he's cool. His money in the bank is calm, but he's not worrying about what people are talking about.
Yeah,
You know
because
what
you
I'm
probably
saying?
ain't got
'Cause-
Instagram.
No, but he might even have Instagram.
Nah, it's a draw out. If you're money, man, they care, fam.
But
Bruv,
I'm
trust
sa-
me.
No, they
We
care,
think-
but I'm saying
If we think about Money Man that we all know, yeah, and one day they pulled up at a dance in a Ford Focus.
They're gonna look different.
not
Is
that.
he in an
You're
Uber?
gonna-
You know them ones, like you're trying to.
You're
Because
gonna
if we
ask
say they
questions
pull up and
still,
they're gonna make him get in
"Bruh,
the queue now.
what's going on
Normally
there?"
you can walk straight in. Nah, get in the queue, man.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
focus, that's
Exactly.
the focus queue.
And it's that's for anything, and it's the same as man them that fight on the road. As soon as they get touched by a younger, bro, his straps are gone just from that one instance.
Yeah, it's
it's
finished.
true,
It's
though.
finished.
It's true though. You
gotta
can
stay
have man that
inside.
are bad from day.
Yeah, because the man will know everyone wants to fight you now.
Come from Adidas
My man
to
punch you up.
Diodora, and I just real quick.
So that's,
Trust me.
I think that's what it is. I think we need to be a bit more open to people that
Real
are.
to yourself and real.
Yeah, man. That's it, really, man.
Speaking of the
that was
realness,
What do you want to get? What do you want
saying
to
the
say?
real was back yesterday. Just quickly,
What's up?
shout out to Anthony Yard.
Oh yeah,
told-
big him
Yeah,
up.
shout out.
He
Yeah,
told
yeah,
man,
yeah,
he told
yeah.
man, if I start hearing the tune in my head, it's long for you. You can't stop the rain. I was like, fam, no fam, you know what that's from, innit? It's BMF. So basically, the brother is a madman, yeah. He's with his brethren, and then his brethren's like, no, we can't go after them. He's like, looks at him, you can't stop the rain. He's like, what? And he balls up his brethren. So now, man, use that as a meme. innit? When man hears that tune, you know, it's murder. So that's why he sang it to him.
yeah.
But it was funny when I watched the press conference because everyone's, what? He tried to rush the last bit because
didn't
I
watch
tried
it.
dragging this out. People don't know what I'm talking about.
I get
But
it.
yeah, he punched him up though.
Well, it helped him, innit?
Yeah, no, but he did punch him up
No, he did still.
quickly. Because he was the
didn't
last
watch
one. He was
Should've
relaxed, fam.
watched it, fam.
No, the last one. He was the first fight. I was like, what's he doing? He's like chilling, thinking, yeah, nah, fam. Be serious about your game, and he was. And true to say, he did lose both his grandparents and his dad to COVID.
What,
Not-
really?
they died last year.
Yeah, that's why he
All
lost.
last
I'm
year.
angry for that. That's mad.
That's
So his
mad,
mind went ready in the boxing. His mind was right yesterday, though. Shit.
Yeah.
What round?
Fourth kind. Lions in the camp where uppercuts in your chin.
Imagine he lost 12 rounds and then the fourth round he said, fuck this. On it.
Quickly.
Whacked him up. Right, shout out in the yard.